it's singing. Definitely gotta fix this. So it's been a little while since the Sonoma GT's been on the channel, and there's been pretty good reason for that. So there's a couple things that we're actually gonna try to rectify today, because it's really actually not drivable at the moment. It kind of developed an issue that we've had for a while, but it got worse enough to where we couldn't drive it. So and it has another issue as well that has to do with the starter. So today I'm gonna try to rectify those things so we can drive the truck again. So because it's a great truck and it has climate control for heat and air conditioning, and it sucks that it's just been sitting. So I've got some parts here and I'll show you all what we're gonna do. And I've actually already replaced the starter, but it still sounds like this. Alright, so that's problem one. And that drag on the starter actually has nothing to do with the battery or the starter itself. And it actually has to do with the signal wire to the starter. So we're gonna work on fixing that today. And let me show you the second problem, which really makes it kind of inoperable. Yeah, so how about that? The rear brakes like to lock up, and that's just with a little bit of pressure applied. So I'm pretty sure that that is the rear brake line, soft brake line. And I've got some new stainless steel brake lines here. So we're gonna put those on here in just a minute, and show you how we're gonna fix the starter as well. And yeah, let me get these cars moved around and we'll get right to it. Yeah, take a listen to this. It's so bad. Sounds like it's singing. Definitely gotta fix this. Okay, so check this out. I've got the truck jacked up, and already I can still tell the brakes are dragging. Especially on this side. So what that means is could be a couple things. It could be what I think it is, which is the hose, soft hose for the rear brakes, which we're going to try to replace first because I have it. It could be the wheel cylinder, which has been replaced. Me and Greg did that right when we were doing the lowering. Or still possibly could be the master cylinder. So when we get a light, let's get up under here and crack this loose and see if that relieves the pressure. If it does, we're on to something. So. Alright, so this right here is the soft line that goes to the brakes. So looks like there's 3 fittings. So right here is where, it's kind of hard to see, but this is the union to go for both sides. So you've got one fitting here and another fitting here, and this is like a bracket that holds it in. And then up here is where it comes from, the hard line from the front of the truck. And I'm about to make a lot of people that live north of Texas or Oklahoma real mad. And these are probably gonna come right out. Yep. So if you live up north, this may not be as easy because you might be dealing with a lot of rust. By the way, this is a 9/16. I thought it was metric, but it's not. And it's coming right off as well. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to spin this wheel again and see if we hear the same noises, which we do, which is not good. So we may have more of an internal problem with that master cylinder, which is funny because it looks a little rusted over. So maybe that's our issue. Let me try this wheel. Is this wheel dragging? No, it just seems like that side. All right. Well, as I said earlier, I have this line, so we're going to replace it. So let me get everything cracked open here, and then we'll go from there. There it goes. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. So I'm just taking this bolt off here. Already got some good fluid coming out of this thing. I'm gonna try to do this as quick as possible. Pull this clip off. Okay. So once that's loose, it just kind of pops now, just like that. Okay, so here is the brake line kit, kind of crunched up. Not a big deal. But part number 672360. S10, S15 pickup, 91 and up. So I bought the kit that comes with all three lines because we're eventually going to replace the front as well. And when you buy a kit like this, they make it really easy. They label them. You got front for windy, another front, and then this is the rear, which instead of having a clip, it has this pull down nut. So I'm gonna go find out what size this is. Okay, before we get under it, for the bracket, small nut here is an 11/16. It is standard. Big nut here is a 15/16. All right. Okay guys, it took me a minute to get all that going. I'm gonna put this bolt in here now to secure things so I can get these things threaded all the way. Alright, you don't tighten them over tight. There we go. That part's done. Alright, now we gotta try to get this one started. So, pull the nut off, put it through on the other side, put the nut back on the top, and then we'll try to get it threaded in. There it goes. Alright, now, can I get this to thread in easily? I think I did. That was lucky. That one was a whole lot easier. Alright, let me get the rest of this thing tightened up. Again, this is a 15/16 and 11/16. There we go, that should be good. Remember, you don't have to crush those things. And here we new line stainless steel on it. Is in place. The only thing I got to do is tighten this up real quick, which is just the bracket, and then I'll have to bleed them. But since this wheel is still rubbing, we got to pull all that off, and we need to look at it. So I'll be pulling the wheel off here in a second. You'll remember we've got the typhoon wheels on here, so we can drive it a little bit. But we're going to change that here soon. Let's try it. Oh, look at that. There we go. All right. Sometimes you use your head, things can work. Cool. Now can we get this off? All right, I'm just walking this rotor off. So this here and there. The only way I'm going to get this thing off, but it is coming, so that's good. Okay. Well, what do we have going on here? Okay, so there's this adjuster here that every time you hit the emergency brake, it'll click this thing a couple times. And you can see it right here. I'll move it for you. See that? I was concerned that this was perhaps locked up. And it seems to be moving pretty well. If it's locked up, it'll just keep adjusting everything out. So I'm pretty confident that this brake wheel cylinder is still junk. And I mean, the brakes overall look good. I'm going to clean them up. I'm going to lube this thing when I pull them apart. But there's really not a lot of reason they should be hanging up other than that wheel cylinder. So that means I got to get some parts. I'm going to order a wheel cylinder for it and get some things to clean it all up and grease that adjuster. So instead of being done in a couple days, it looks like it's going to be a little bit more than that. I was hoping to get another car in here this weekend, which I might still be able to do on Sunday. I just won't be able to make as much progress as I had was hoping to, but that's okay. We'll get the Sonoma GT up and running, and then I'll bomb it around for a while too, because I love driving this truck. So while we fix the other ride, I can drive around in this a bit. So anyways, I'll get right back at you when we get parts for the thing. It's been a couple days, but I did go to the parts store and got some things. Master cylinder we talked about, which may be causing our issue. Here's the old one. I already pulled it off the truck. And then I bought this, which is a tag stuck in the box. It's a hardware kit for this side. So I'm going to replace the hardware kit. All the springs and things that are on this, I'm just going to go ahead and replace them all because I'm not exactly sure why it was hanging up. In all honesty, that wheel cylinder may be good, maybe not. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that something's not right, so I'm just going to replace everything, all the hardware on this side. I'm not replacing the pads. There's a reason for that. This is probably only a temporary solution. We have something else for the brakes on the back of this thing that we're going to do hopefully in a couple months. So we didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money on replacing everything. We'll just replace some of the parts that need to be replaced, and I warrantied out that wheel cylinder. So just kind of keeping it low budget, replace all these springs and get after it. I'm not going to go into detail on how to do drum brakes because there's a lot to do, and there's actually a lot of information out there. But in my opinion, the best way to do drum brakes is just to kind of hop in there and do them. Couple tips: do one side at a time so you have the other side to look at as a reference, or take a whole bunch of pictures. But I still think it's better to leave one side assembled so you can go over there and look at it and make sure it's good. And then two, I like to use vice grips and snip like these springs and pull them off. I feel like it's the safest way to do it. But you just kind of got to dive in there and get them done. So that's what I'm going to do. And then we'll get to bleeding, and hopefully this issue will be fixed. Well, down here in this mess, we have replaced the line for the brakes. Made it braided steel line. We've replaced all the hardware. That's what all this stuff is. And now I just gotta kind of adjust them out a little bit because they're going to be too far in, and bleed the brakes. And those parts are just kind of boring, so I'm gonna get on with it, and then we'll test drive it in the morning and see if we have rectified the issue. I think it's a good possibility that we have. I have a feeling something was sticking. That hardware is like really old and grimy and kind of worn out. It's a little soft. So let's just cross our fingers, and I'll hit you guys back up in the morning, and we'll take it for a test drive. Now let's hope the brakes are fixed. It hasn't dragged yet when I've been moving it around or anything, so that's a very good sign. Oops, still hear a little noise though. I wonder what that is. I'll have to jack it up and put it in neutral and see if I still hear it on one of the wheels. The other side might want to be done as well. I think it's just the hardware kit though, if that's the case. Turn some ack on. It's gone away now though, the noise is gone. So I just put it in neutral and I'm just coasting. Nothing's really noticeably dragging. Doesn't seem to be having any issues with doing that. Alright. Seems okay so far. Good pedal feel at the stop sign, feels pretty normal. Driving okay. Stops pretty good. Coasting after that. Doesn't seem like it's hanging up anymore. Just when it's at real low mile an hour. So that's a good thing. Maybe it's fixed. But let's go get the next project that we're going to be working on. Well, at least we got the Sonoma back up and running. It's definitely, we can hop in and go places in it, but it's kind of been neglected. So that's gonna be kind of a priority before summer, because that truck has AC and it's nice to cruise around when it's crazy hot outside. But right now is when I should be driving this thing, and so I'm gonna take this home. If you've never seen this car before, which is my 1963 Bel Air, hang tight, because we're about to tear transmission out of it because I've got an issue with the clutch, and you're gonna find out all about that here soon. So thanks for coming along as always. I really appreciate you guys, and got a lot more content to come. So until next time, you know the deal. Y'all be good.